everyone, welcome to Comments Below. I am Poet, who are you?
David Rianich.
And this is the show where you leave your comments below, and some of them are. And there's an epic moment in this show, only goes...
Comment of the week!
Today we speak about, is Wayne Rooney a England legend? Also, following off from last week, we speak about MLS and we finally find out what it's all about. All right, Vooch, kick us off, man.
Before I do kick off, I'd like to apologise if you hear any background noise. It is builders outside being very noisy. But to begin, it is some of the major internationals that happened this week.
Tassos PL has said this: Greece 0, Faroe Islands 1. First ever European win for the Faroe Islands in their history. On the other hand, Greece is last in their group with 1 point. Thoughts? Should Ranieri be sacked?
Mate, he shouldn't be sacked.
No,
he should be wrapped up.
No, he has been sacked.
Tied up.
But he has been
chucked
sacked.
In the water.
But he has been sacked.
Oh, he has been sacked. Well,
so all of that can stop. How did Greece go from winning the Euros 10 years later, fast forward, getting beat by Faroe Islands?
At home. To beat Greece away from home is massive. And the fact that it's their first ever European win shows you how much this probably means to those players.
Oh, mate, if you saw them in the changing room, they were having a whale of a time. Booge, move on to another giant result for a very small team.
This isn't really a giant killing. It's more of a giant drawing. But San Marino ended a 61-game losing streak to earn a point after a goalless draw against Estonia, and they celebrated it like a victory as well.
Oh, bless their heart, man.
61-game losing streak. I don't know. I feel all these crazy results are down to the new qualifying system, which is making every little game count. The fact that third place goes into a qualification round and that the top two go automatically is birthing some crazy results.
So following on from one draw to another draw, Wales drawing 0-0 away to Belgium. Let's not forget this is a Belgium side that included the likes of Hazard, Courtois, Vertonghen, and Wales still managed to get a 0-0 draw. It's looking good for Wales, and I think one reason is why as well, it's Chris Coleman. They've kept the same gaffer for a very long period of time. International football, it doesn't happen like football season where it's all congested into one crazy 9 months. It happens over a course of time. So he just, he started learning the job, getting the ropes, so on and so forth. I like Chris Coleman. Honest man as well.
Looks like they might actually qualify this time around.
All right, let's speak about a little bit of Scotland versus Republic of Ireland. Fraser Ross says, thoughts on Maloney's goal versus Ireland and our, open brackets, Scotland's, close brackets, chances of qualifying for the Euros. Your chances for qualifying are definitely there, mate, especially with the quality of that Maloney goal. Surely, a lot of the other sides are going to see that and think to themselves, you know what, could be a difficult game if we have to go to Glasgow. So I'm really impressed with Scotland. I'm really impressed with a lot of the sides, such as Wales, Republic of Ireland. I love the fact that Roy Keane's come in, done a bit of work, helping out the team, helping out the younger players there as well. But unfortunately, they didn't win this game and Scotland did.
Nations like Scotland, Wales and Ireland, they have that added impetus, they have the added motivation now to play and give it their all in every game. And Scotland actually, in Germany away, could have come away with a point, easily.
Please leave comments and tell us what you feel about your team's performance over the weekend and maybe tonight as well. Last week, we spoke about the MLS, and at the top of the show, we told you we're going to bring someone in to tell us all about it. And guess what?
He brings his own chair.
He brings his own chair. Paolo Bandini, he brings his own chair. So let's talk about MLS. Sure. Last week we were speaking about it and we admitted that we didn't know much. So we've got a couple of comments in here and we're going to ask you a couple of questions and you can educate us and the Copper fam all about the MLS.
First question for me would be, I've heard there's a draft system and an interesting youth setup in going into the first teams. How does this work?
It's the same as most other American sports, which is that you have this established system of college athletics through the country. At the end of the year, the worst teams in the league pick first in this draft, and actually the MLS draft includes kids from college and also younger players who've been playing in the non-MLS leagues. Actually now, some of the more forward-thinking teams like Seattle have their own youth systems, have players training at a younger age with them, and then rules have been set up around this saying that you can have homegrown players who, as long as they have trained for at least a year with you, you can sign them without letting them go through the draft. Major League Soccer centrally contracts players, with the exception of designated players who the clubs take responsibility for their salary above the salary cap. So all transfers are conducted through the league, And for instance, for American players returning to the league from abroad, or for MLS players who've gone abroad and coming back, there's an allocation system. There's an order to which teams get to have the players, and it rotates around. And the whole thing is designed.
Isn't the highest bidder then?
No, because the clubs aren't bidding, because it's with the exception again of the designated players. You know, your Thierry Henrys, your David Beckhams. The system is centrally run.
At what rate is it now? The growth in terms of fan base and viewers in the USA?
So this is the really tricky thing. The fan base in terms of attendance is really getting to a very good place. It's, you know, average attendance in the league, I think about 19,000 this year. It's been going up for several years. But I think that, you know, the best thing that can happen for America right now is what's happening, which is that the best American players are choosing to play in America. Why would anyone who's, you know, not, other than the older European players who think it's something to do in the latter part of their career, why would someone else from anywhere else in the world go to Major League Soccer if the best players in America don't think it's worth being there?
Discuss with us playoff format.
The playoff format has changed a bit over the years, but right now you basically have your two conferences from which you have the best 5 teams going in. Okay. You have almost like a one-game sort of entry playoff between 5th and 4th. They then go into a 2-legged conference semi-final, and then from the conference semi-final, conference final, and then there's obviously the 2 conferences, the East and the West, play together in the MLS Cup game.
What are the teams in it now?
So we're now at the conference finals. In the East, you have the New York Red Bulls playing the New England Revolution, and in the West, you have Seattle playing against Los Angeles.
Could you give me your top 5 players in MLS right now?
Yeah, I think unfortunately some of these are probably quite obvious names because that's just the kind of season it's been. But Omri's in the conversation, I'd say, for top 5. Landon Donovan's having an incredible season, and it's amazing because it's pretty much since he got overlooked by Klinsmann for the World Cup squad, he has just been on this ridiculous tear. Robbie Keane's had a fantastic season. Definitely Obafemi Martins, actually, who's playing fantastically at the moment. Another name that you'll be familiar with. One guy maybe isn't quite as obvious, but will be to people who've been watching America. Lee Nguyen is having I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that exactly right, but he's having an absolutely fantastic year. I think he scored 20 goals from midfield this season, something like that. So he has been absolutely banging them in. And you know, maybe Bradley Wright Phillips, on the basis of top scorer, probably putting him in the conversation as well. All
right, well, we have to thank you for coming in and broadening our horizon when it comes to MLS.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for having me on.
Cheers.
Fun.
Thank you very much.
Budgie!
Quick fire round!
Fun, please. 3, 2, 1.
What does everyone say? Thoughts, because they want to know what we think. What do you think we need to stop for the season in form? No. How high do you think West Ham can finish the season? Top 6. Vuj, you to the goddamn legend. Thank you. I'm Christian Sheikh, Rena's girlfriend, used to touch a best shot with Messi on foot.
What are you saying?
Love this road's best atmosphere. Vienna Chen love friend. Still a better love story than Twilight. This is why I hate this show. Pellegrini manager, won a double last year and a good manager. Are you insane? Well, it's not only us that's saying it. Nyasaland! Nyasaland. Alex doesn't understand what Wenger says. No wonder he's the only one who plays. My rabbit dad, can we have a second sign? Sorry, Betsy. I'm leaving Wenger in, Wenger out, but definitely Flamini out.
Wow.
Moyes out. Watch out for Gordon Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys can see that on your map here. We can.
Yeah,
Let me go for a round. I'll eat my balls and take a photo. Do it. No, don't do it. Scotland will win. Well, they did. Talk about Middlesbrough more. We're going up to Borough. Up to Borough. Yeah. Nice Yeezys. Thank you. No, Flanagan is the new Suarez. What's your clue how you see? Love this channel. Toilet paper. Things more useful than Balotelli. I hope you did a flooring poet ripped. You guys are too sick, bruh. I'm a QPR fan. He's 8-year-old Suarez. Why isn't Falcao being played? I'm not sure he's injured. You should make a stand in the studio called the Copper End. How many potatoes can you head in the biryani with about sneezing? 21. Good video. Look at videos. That's all right. That's pretty good. 20, 29, 30.
What? Oh.
30!
So we're setting new records. But it's time now to address the millions.
100 millions!
So Copper 90 fans, not, and I repeat, still not on Tumblr.
Not on Tumblr yet, but you know, if there's enough of a demand, we might open one up.
It's copper90.com, Instagram, Twitter. It's the epic moment in the show that can only be described as, in Portuguese,
Comentários de semana!
Cameron Cook says, when Alexis Sanchez dies, the Arsenal defence should lower him into a grave so they can let him down one last time. Cameron, you really a good cook, aren't you?
I find that quite funny.
Did you?
Yeah, but anyway, Hamish Simpson, great first name. Why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie? He was too far out. I don't get it. That one I actually don't get. I don't get it.
Like, you know, like hippies like far out in the sense of like, you know, just a bit far out in their mentality and stuff, but the lifeguard couldn't save him because he was too far out into the sea.
Look, Matthias De Faria. What is the difference between Man City and a web browser? A web browser has history, not if you've deleted it or gone in incognito mode. Just saying.
Now on to boring James Milner, who speaks about 3 Lions victory. He says, I was celebrating Danny Welbeck's goal so much that I accidentally stood on Berahino's foot. It was so funny, but then I said sorry. So, speaking about boring James Milner and that England game, it is time for
Tactical analysis. Let's do it. Welcome to our favourite part of the show, and I believe yours too, controversially, is tactical analysis again. And today we're talking about the 3 Lions against Slovenia.
Wayne Rooney scoring on his 100th game, Danny Welbeck getting 2 after, and Jordan Henderson deciding to wear a blue shirt. Who's that?
Rooney.
Is he an absolute legend for England? I mean, you know, he makes his debut at 16 years old for Everton. He goes on to score against England's #1 at the tender age of 16. Since then, he's played in World Cups, European Championships, he won the Premier League, amongst so many other things. Is that not a legend? Are you really going to draw 100 caps, Rich?
No. At the end of the day, he's not a legend because he hasn't had a defining moment, I feel. His defining moments have been the red card against Portugal when he got sent off against Ronaldo when the wink gate, when Ronaldo winked. And he hasn't done anything when you say extraordinary. He has been a monumental figure, and you cannot argue that. So you have to show an enormous amount of respect to Wayne Rooney. He has scored some great goals, but unfortunately he doesn't enter the legend mode of your Gary Linekers and a few other lads.
If he was to lead England to some type of success in France, does he then get that sort of legendary status?
Do you think we're actually going to do something in France with that squad poet? Huh? Look at yourself, England, proud nation, England. Disappointed.
Moving on from Wayne Rooney, an amazing player. Let's talk about the game. It was his 100th cap. He did get the equaliser to bring it back to 1-1. And then Danny Welbeck went on to score 2. A man says, Nima Crikey says, sorry, Danny Welbeck, bad man ting. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on that guy?
Boom. No more thoughts on it. Boom, that's my thoughts. He is that guy. Our group is the easiest group out of all of the available groups we could have been in. I mean, you're expected to win that. And the way we won it, boring. What would you change in that England lineup and setup?
I'd put in some younger players that have got a little bit of hunger, a little bit of passion. Those are going to be the players of the future. A bit like what Germany done. They put in a lot of young players, and by the time, you know, World Cup comes around, they're ready for it. They can win the World Cup purely because they've had the necessary experience. Yeah. The likes of the Podolskis and the Özils, the Tony Cruzes, so on and so forth. Nathaniel Klein starting, I think, was right. It was correct. He's played amazing for Southampton this season. I want to get some more games out of him. I want to see Ross Barkley play. I want to see him play. But I want the younger players to play for the simple fact that they are the future. I think England have got great opportunity to qualify, and I feel like we can do something in France, but give the young players a chance. Tonight, there is no harm in losing whatsoever, but in tonight, if you put them young players out and you let Rooney lead these young players, he's been there, he's seen it, he's done it all. I think, to me, that's what I would do anyway. All right, so that's all we have for tactical analysis. Remember, we're talking about Rooney being a legend. Is he a legend? I believe he is. Leave a comment. What do you think about England's side today? Who should we play against Scotland? Should we play the young boys? Leave comments. Let us know. Can we win in France? I believe we can. We've got the talent. We've got the young players. Do you believe we can? Leave a comment. Let us know. But that is all for not just tactical analysis. Comments below as well. That is all from us. I'm taking off my jacket. Make sure you're leaving comments about all tonight's football and the weekend's football, because guess what? Next week, Tuesday, we're talking about a massive game. It happens to be Arsenal versus United at the Carpet.
That's going to be mad.
But from us, have a nice